Imagine that you want to get pregnant, but instead of going to a fertility center or you and your partner getting it done the old-fashioned way, you must first go to a doctor and be tested for genetic diseases and have him sign off on your health before handing you a pregnancy permit. You must then take this permit to a pregnancy facility, when they will give you a book that has all of your options laid out for you. And then you can pick out your child's hair and eye color, all the way down to their personality and intelligence level. Now I know everyone wants to have a perfect child, but ask yourself, would you really want to have this power? Better yet, would you want to know that you were designed by your parents? What would happen if this became an option only for those who could afford it? What would happen to the children that were born the old way? Better yet, what are some of the potential negative effects if this became an option for everyone in the United States? After researching designer babies, I hope to have all of you think about these questions and to help keep this from becoming a viable option in the United States. Although designer babies can help to eliminate genetic diseases and increase our overall intelligence as a country, it also has some potentially serious negative effects, such as children born normally could be seen as though they have a disability. It would be as if children were something being sold to their parents instead of created by them. Under market conditions, will babies become commodities to be sold to their parents? To my mind, the more important issue is the value that children will have when they are the result of engineering or selection. This is a quote from Dr. John Robertson, the author of Children of Choice, Freedom and the Reproductive Technology. Even scientists seem to agree that it becomes an issue and a question of when or when not to allow designer babies to be made. But with the technology comes the question of how and when or when not to use it. This is a quote from Dr. Bill Ratford. He is a fertility doctor and a geneticist. Today's motives are that people want a healthy child and sometimes a child with the potential to help their sibling in the event of a terminal disease that can be cured with stem cells or maybe a bone marrow transplant. But what happens if this becomes an option to everyone, no matter what the reason is behind it? How about you bring me up somebody tall or smart? The motive in the Nash case was a good one, but tomorrow's motive could be less than good. This is a quote from Dr. Paul Maggiarelli, the director of the Reproductive and Fertility Center of Southern Colorado in Colorado Springs. You can help prevent this from becoming a viable option by speaking up whenever given a choice on this issue. Vote against it when it is put to us to help make the decision. Speak out against science engineering our children and remind people that God is supposed to be the engineer of humanity and not science. Speaking your mind and standing up for what is ethically and morally correct in this issue can help protect generations to come. It will help keep children whose parents cannot afford designer children from being treated as outcasts or as if they have a disability. It will prevent science from being able to make the perfect society. It will also prevent any issues that designer children may face, such as mental or emotional anguish in knowing that they were created instead of made out of love. Could you imagine having to tell your child that they were made in order to help an older child if they got sick? Could you imagine having to tell your child that they are beautiful or smart only because you chose to make them that way? Would you want to know that you were made instead of created out of love by your parents? Think hard about all of these questions, and if you have answered no to any of them, stand up, speak out whenever you're given the choice to do so. Don't just sit back and just see what happens. Let's remember that whenever we don't speak out or vote, whenever we're given the option, that whenever it does not turn out the way that we like, we no longer have a right to complain.